I'm outside. It's a really kind of muggy, cloudy day, really warm here in Louisiana. And I wanted to shoot a short video because I have basically a little testing that I'm doing with my Goal Zero generator. But I wanted to pop the intro so you can see my face before you look at the solar panel and I describe everything to you. Thanks.
Hi everybody. And we're like take 5 or 6 or 7. I can't remember anymore. This is my Goal Zero Yeti 400 that I have focused on, and I am an avid car camper. I have a lot of products that I purchased. Look at my little feet, you can see on the display. I have a lot of products that I purchased just for car camping or backup here at the house. And I have a project coming up where I'm going to do a DIY camper van, and I don't want to have to reinvent everything. So part of that process is my solar setup, and if I were starting over from scratch, I would have the solar panel mounted on the roof and bring it in and get my own charge controller and inverter and all that great stuff and wire it up myself and everything, and that's great. That would work. In fact, I currently have a 100-watt solar panel with this unit that I am going to permanently mount to the top of the roof. But my question is, how much battery bank am I going to need to meet my needs? And also, will that 100-watt panel be enough to keep the battery bank charged without having to go into parallel charging? I already have a battery hooked up to it, and I'll show you that real quick. This is daisy chained to another battery that's the same size as this Goal Zero battery. These are AGM, and they have about 33 to 35 hours. So by daisy chaining this, and you can get this cable from PowerWorks, it's a nice big 10 amp cable, and it has fuses. They're not necessary per Goal Zero, but it comes with it, so be it, and it's a great quality product. So, and it connects via Anderson pole, so that's really, really convenient. If I daisy chain another one on this end, I just got to do ring connectors. If I do it on the other end, I have another Anderson pole that I can, a connector like that I can chain it into. So with that said, I know I'm going to need a larger bank. My question is, how much larger do I absolutely need, and will the current 100-watt solar panel be sufficient? Because one of the limitations with the charge controller in this unit is it maxes out at 120 watts. To get around that, I could get for example, a Renogy Briefcase 1000-watt panel with the charge controller built in, charge this from the permanent mounted solar panel, and then charge any other battery in my bank, i.e., for example, this one, with the Renogy panel that I would pull out during the day. That would get around the 120 watt limitation, whereas I could pull in a full 120 watts into this unit, not off a 100-watt panel, but I could throw in a smaller panel and daisy chain it in, or plus charge in parallel with the Renogy charge controller, and that's per Goal Zero as well. So this is what my experiment I'm trying to figure out. How many more batteries do I need to add in, and do I need more than 100 watts of solar? If so, I'm going to do the Renogy thing, because I'm pretty absolutely sure 200 watts of solar is all I'm going to need in forest panels. Okay, so the experiment today is with my in the window base camp freezer fridge, and I'm so sorry, this is probably horrible camera work. I wanted to see in a 24-hour period without any charging from a fully charged bank how much this would draw. Now I know the conditions are ambient, and that this is just phase one, just for this one appliance. I have a couple appliances I want to check out and see exactly what their draw is, measuring it in this same way, so I can figure out in a 24-hour period without any charging at all, none, no solar, no alternator, none of that great stuff, how much am I going to use, and is my bank sufficient to handle that in an extreme situation? Right now I know it's not, but it's kind of impressive what this unit actually does, if I say so myself. So at 3 o'clock yesterday, this was a fully charged bank, which is basically a 66 amp hour battery because it's two chained together in parallel. And the temperature inside was 81.9. My outside air temperature was 87.3. And it was a partly sunny, partly cloudy day. So at that point, everything was hooked up and there were no amp hours used on the battery because I can reset this every time I fully charge. At 8 o'clock this morning, we woke up to a cloudy day and the amp hours used overnight was 16.5 amp hours. That's it. No more. This is like incredible. And then right now at 2:54, so we get about 6 minutes before we hit 24 hours. As you can see, we just hit 22 watts. Or, I'm sorry, 22 amp hours. In basically a 24-hour period. So I am still under the 33 usable. And I'm going to be honest, this is probably the most I've used out of this system. And I've had some power outages home. That's what I love this for, because 90% of the time this stays in its current usage, it stays plugged up so that the batteries are ready to go. If the electricity goes out, we've had to use it for 8 or 9 hours running, you know, charging cell phones, charging tablets, charging laptops, lights, and a DC fan that I have. So, and I'll go through the different things so you can see everything. So it's used 273 watt hours in that 24-hour period. Right now, it is 4.5 amps coming out to run the refrigerator. That's all that's on it. Come on. Okay, it's 12.1 volts output. And it is currently running. That's how quiet. We are right next to this. And the compressor, you may have heard it kick on. The compressor's running right now. So it's pulling out those watts right now. It'll just cool it down to what it needs to the temperature, and it's set at 38. It's a really nice setting. My drinks are really cold. I don't need to go lower than that, and it's keeping everything quite cold. So in a 24-hour period without any charging, anything like that, I'm only using 22 amp hours, which is incredible. Now that still leaves me in the current setting a good 11 amp hours that I could use for a fan and something else. So this would be really pushing it, and this isn't in heat conditions or anything like that. And I am going to do that, and I am going to, in my other test, I am going to hook up the 100-watt solar panel and see what that does on different varying days, because I really want to know how much battery bank do I really need to make this work. I'd like to have a good, you know, 60 amp hours cushion and never draw the batteries below 25%. That's my goal. I don't want to be drawing the batteries down to 25%, lower than 25%, just because I can get so much more cycle life out of the batteries that I do have. So that's today's little experiment. As I get further along, I don't even have a van yet. I'm still searching for the one I want. I'm right there where I could get something. I have a lot, like I said, I have almost everything that I'm gonna need. And I also, when I do set this up in the van, it won't just be solar. I will have it hooked up to the alternator with an alternator switch, isolator alternator switch, which I haven't decided how I want to do that yet. So if need be, I can go drive around town and charge up my system if I'm in a really bad situation where there's just, the solar can't keep up. But I'd like to have it where it could run 2 days, 3 days straight without an ink of anything coming in. That would be ultimate. With it hooked up to solar, if I could go 3 or 4 days, even in bad weather, before I would need to run the alternator to charge it up, that'd be really kind of cool. That'd be kind of the bomb, I think, in my current goal. So that's it. That's the first experiment. By the way, if I had to do this over again, well, no. For what I bought this for, it's perfect. I love it. For a base camp emergency home situation, this is perfect. Extremely lightweight. If I were building a solar panel system for my van from scratch, I would do a little bit different than these batteries, but that's without knowing how heavy those batteries would be, if I could even handle them. So I would have 100-watt amp-hour AGM batteries, because I think in the long run it would be a little bit more cost effective than having these 35 amp-hour batteries. But I already have this. It's already a starting point, and I can add to this and increase it and get it to the capacity that I need inexpensively, a lot less expensive than starting over from scratch. And I think the products that I'm going to get are going to be more than enough to meet my solar needs. So that's kind of where I'm at. Kind of excited to start doing it. This is going to be the first big major DIY I've done. I'm not afraid of electronics and building cables and putting things together, and I'm not afraid of electricity or anything like that, but this is going to be a significant project, and like, I have no carpentry skills at all. I may have some repair it, fix it skills, but I can't build anything from scratch. So I am still trying to figure out how I'm gonna do this. And like, I'm not afraid of the bed. I'm not building a bed. I'm not afraid of that. But I've seen a few vans outfitted where they used recycled furniture, and I think I'm really gonna be one of those gals that does that. L brackets will be my friend. Anyway, thanks for watching, and from this test, I can definitely recommend this freezer refrigerator combo. And for those of you that are unfamiliar, I believe another brand of this would be Winter. There's several brands that are basically all manufactured from the same plant, and they just have different branding, slightly different coloring and stuff like that, but they're all basically the same refrigerator. I'm really pleased with the purchase. I'm super happy with my Goal Zero. Like, I could have built my own and it would have been a lot cheaper, but this is so convenient when you're camping, especially car camping. I mean, you just grab it and you just go. It is so light. So it was worth every penny that I put into it. And I think it's going to work moving forward. I just have to be a little bit more creative with the limitations that I do have. I could always, I wouldn't say scrap this, I could always rebuild the solar system from scratch and put in those big amp hour batteries, and then just charge this via this there is a car charger cable that goes into the input. I could do it that way. I don't want to do that. I already got money invested, and I think that if I'm going to carry these batteries anyway, it won't hurt to add 2 or 3 more of these batteries, and I really believe that's all I'm going to need. So take care, YouTube. It's been a while, and I'm glad to see everyone in the videos. Keep them coming. Please like and subscribe, comment, suggestions, recommendations. If you have a van channel, please leave a link, because I am like, especially anybody out there that has a good alternator isolator video, I'm definitely interested in that install, because I'm definitely going to do it myself. I am not paying to have that done. It's not that complicated of a deal, but I want more input, information, and the like. Take care, YouTube. Have a great day. Bye-bye.